Hello everyone, welcome back. In part 1 and 2, we saw the very basics of paper cut, that is straight cut and curve cut. I'm keeping the videos short and basic so that the absolute beginners can benefit. I hope it was useful and that you have practiced the cuts. Now moving forward, the next step would be to approach designs. Naturally, you would want to cut beautiful designs. I'm putting up videos for practices, but in my case I straight away wanted to cut designs. I didn't even bother to practice. But when I started to cut the designs, that is when I realized that we need to practice, and practice alone helps. When you go for designs, be it geometric or organic, the main cut is always going to be either straight or curve. But the challenge or the difficulty level varies, and it increases as you go for more intricate designs. In this video, we are just going to see about such challenges for straight cut in respect to the designs. As you can see, I've come up with my small design where I have tried to incorporate thin lines and smaller areas, which are the main challenges in case of straight cut. So without much ado, let's start with the the video. You see, this is my drawing. I took out a printout bit enlarged than this for the purpose of demonstration alone. I'll be cutting out this one at the end of the video, and I'll show you how it works. This is little bit comparatively not very big, but a little bit bigger as compared to this, so that it is visible for you, but still it is a smaller one, but still it is better than that. So let's carry on. Alright, now let's start cutting the paper. I'm sorry about the poor light. I'm trying my best. I'm new to this video recording. I'm experimenting with the light and the camera and all. I'll definitely improve, I promise you. So now first we will see how to cut thin strips of paper in a design. Before you start, you have to make sure when you start cutting designs, in case of practice it's okay, because if it is going to be a little bit shabby, it's okay. But when you go for designs and you want to display, you have to make sure that your blade is sharp, because if it is not sharp, it's going to rip your paper. Okay, so make sure your blade is sharp. And if you're right-handed, you start from left to right, and if you're left-handed, it's vice versa. You go from right to left. It is just practical. First cut the left side and then go to the right side. Why? Because once you have cut the left side, you can hold it, because in thin strips, if you don't hold, sometimes it may cut. Okay, so you can just hold it like that, so that it doesn't rip off. And second thing is, when you cut the right side first, you don't know where the cut is, and it will be difficult for you to hold the strip like that. That is why. Okay, now let's go see. Cut the left side. Now I'm going to the right side. I can just hold it. Sometimes when I cut, I may not be on the line, but I'll show you at the end what I mean. Even if it is not there, the design is going to be perfect. This is just for practice. If it is a beautiful design, just be careful to go on the line. Okay, now when you have two strips like this, or if it is a checkerboard sort of design, you may have these small squares or rectangles in between. When you're going to cut that, always cut the inside part first. What I mean is, like, cut the inside parts first. Don't go for the don't go for the top portion first. Once you are done with the sides, then go for this, because the paper is holding it. It's sort of an anchor for that small strip so that it doesn't rip off. Okay, so now I'm going to cut here. See, I'm holding it so that it doesn't get easily ripped off. Another thing that you have to remember when you're cutting this sort of designs is that you have to be patient and cut and stop exactly where the design requires you to stop. Otherwise, if you just slip away, you may cut the design itself. That's why these are the two main things that you need to remember. Okay, here it is a curve. I'll show you. I'm holding it, as you can see. There you go. And here on the other side, can you see? Yeah. I'm very sorry about the light. I will try to do better in the next video. Now I'm going to show you what to do with this small shapes. First I'll finish off this one as well. Just hold it like that and just stop where you're supposed to stop. Okay, sometimes you may slip off. That's why I'm telling you again and again, practice alone will help you. So if it is like this, just use your tip and try to cut it out. Okay, just use your tip to cut it out, tip of the blade. Here the finishing is not neat, so I'm going to just use the tip of the blade and remove that small piece of paper. Okay, yeah, it's gone. See, it's got two strips now. Now let's go for the smaller shape that I was talking about. Here again, the main thing is you cut on the sides, go from left to right, so that you can hold and you can see where the previous cut is. And the other one is you can hold it with your hand. If you're going to go in the reverse side, it will not be easy for you to hold that. That is the reason. Nothing else. It's just practical. And although I'm telling you how I do, you just do and try it out for yourself. Some things may work for you, some may not work for you. So you find your own ways of doing this. I'm just giving you an idea of how I do. If you find it useful and helpful, please follow. If you find it difficult or you don't want to follow, you can go ahead and when you practice, you will come up with your own ideas. Doesn't matter. Okay, I would consider myself a beginner because I need a lot to learn. I'm just practicing, and I just thought I would share what I'm learning during my practice. That's it. Because when I started, I couldn't find much help. And this is a very, very beautiful art form, and I just loved how the designs turned out once you cut. As you can see, I'm not editing. I'm going to just keep it as it is so that you can see what are the practical difficulties you face when you cut. Okay, see, we have cut. Is it focusing? Yeah, can you see? This is how it is. I'm just going to go ahead and use this one, the original, and okay, you can't see. I'm going to cut this original thing which I drew, and I will keep the cutting portion in a faster mode with some music, and I'll show you at the end of the video. Thank you. Alright, so this leaf is almost similar to this. It is the same. So I'm gonna cut it off camera and then I'll show you how it looks at the end of the video. And once I finish the inner cuts, I'll be cutting out the outer. That you must note, because this paper will hold it as an anchor. You know, it helps it. Once you cut out the design out of the paper, it's very difficult. You have to all the time hold it wherever it is very thin, and then sometimes it may rip off. Okay. Okay, so I have cut out this pattern that we started with, and as you can see by the end of the video, I have somehow learned to adjust the light and the camera so that it is brighter. So this is how it looks, and here is the negative of the cutout. So I hope it was useful. Thank you.